start our meeting here. I'll call the meeting to order. And there's one agenda addition, which is an issue to do with the tax sale auction. And I'd like to put that under 11H, under new business. Okay. Any other additions? Anybody have any other additions? No? All right, any declarations of interest? I will have one if there's any discussion on item 11G, solicitor recommendation regarding Bellefontaine matter. I'll declare a bias. He's my friend. So I will leave the room. Anybody else? No? Okay. Councillor absences. We do have we do have the names here. I know that both, Liza,
I haven't heard from anyone myself.
but she told us she wouldn't be here. Yeah.
No, she's gone.
An
She's on
extended
holiday.
period of time.
Yeah, for probably a month or two,
Yeah.
till she's back. So that's fine, she let us know. Moaz is gonna be here in a minute. And who else is missing?
Troy?
I saw Troy driving.
Troy? Okay, well, he didn't call, he
He
didn't let
said
us
he'd be
know.
here. We talked to
So-
him today, he said.
So we'll leave it with Liza, she notified us, so moved by Deputy Mayor Antoine and seconded by Councillor Grote, that council excuse Councillor Liza McPherson from regular meeting RM16-2019, a resolution to excuse Liza McPherson. All in favor? Okay, we've got 7 in favor, none against.
We didn't adopt the agenda.
Ah, right, yeah, well, that's next.
Oh.
But I guess I should have done that before this, so you are right. Okay, back to that, which is motion moved by Deputy Mayor Antoine, seconded again by Councillor Grote, that council regular meeting RM16-2019 as amended, because we did have the one addition. All in favor? The agenda is adopted. All right. Got a couple. So we're on item 7. There's some minutes from August 6th and a motion by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Deputy Mayor Antoine, that council approve the minutes of regular meeting RM15-2019 of August 6th, 2019 as presented, unless anyone has any corrections or amendments. Okay, all in favor? 7 in favor, none against. Minutes are adopted. And on the minutes from the committee of the whole meeting from August 12th, I have a motion moved by Councillor Grote, seconded by Deputy Mayor Antoine, that council approve the minutes of committee of the whole meeting COW 09-2019 of August 12th, 2019 as presented, unless, yes, Councillor Grote.
I was absent from that meeting and I put on the seconder on that motion.
Oh,
No,
okay.
if I can, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but somehow you were listed, and you're not?
No, I'm okay on the committee meeting.
Right.
On the motion, I signed that as the seconder.
Oh,
And I was absent too, but it's good.
I'm okay with it, but.
are you
I don't know
sure?
if we're supposed-
Because I'm reading it here. Double check that anyway.
Yep, that's my scroll.
On the top though.
If that's fine, I'm
Yeah.
okay with it, but I wasn't here.
Because he wasn't present in the
Because he wasn't
meeting.
president.
Yeah,
Oh, I
he
see
moved
what
the
you're
motion,
saying. Yeah, oh, I thought the mix up was in the order here, but no, I get it.
If
Okay.
everybody's okay with it, I'm good with it.
No, that's fine. Yeah, because, yeah. So all in favor as presented then? Okay. 7 in favor, none against. Motion to adopt passed. And mayor report, I do not have anything to report. SAO report,
No, nothing is just.
okay. So if there's any questions, I guess, in lieu, we could ask our assistant SAO here, if anyone had any operational questions or anything like that. Maybe when you're doing your counselor concerns or things like, yeah, go ahead, counselor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My question is in regards to the sidewalk and the traffic light. What happened about these issues?
This
It's
came up
been approved on the capital budget before, and it's been approved for like
at
never
the school and the rec center
yeah,
there.
at the school and the sidewalk from the main street, 101 street to the health center.
I do believe that there was some conversations with talking about grouping all the concrete work that we need to do all together in one, so that the curling slab, all the big concrete work projects we have to do will be all grouped together. So, as far as I know, that was discussed while I was on vacation. I'm not 100% up to speed on everything, but and Daryl just kind of surprised me and said he wasn't.
Yeah, and maybe on that one, that's a good one just to put to an email to, I can ask too.
Oh,
about the
okay.
street
I didn't know we could email and ask questions.
I know that it hasn't been forgotten.
I've been
but,
told I can't email everybody.
You could email Daryl and just ask him that question.
Can I CC everybody when I do?
Just for the question, yeah. Yeah, because you're just asking the question, right? Yeah.
Because right
I know-
now it's getting cold, and I don't think
know.
it's for the concrete. If it's getting cold, like if they
Yeah,
gather everything together, I don't think we're gonna be doing anything. So if
Yeah.
we can at least
We
like
wrote, I
yeah,
wrote that off
those
in July.
small projects, they can be done in.
I'll see if we
One or
can
two
get
days,
an update from council
Thank you.
within the next few days.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. I know it's kind of tough because you're not the main guy that's gonna know all the answers
I'm-
here, but,
I think.
and you were on holidays too.
I know. I think I would know a lot more if I wasn't just away for just over 2 weeks. So
Yeah,
I'm still on vacation mode too, so go
Okay.
easy on me.
all right, so, tabled items and old business, we don't have any. Committee minute recommendations, we don't have any formal recommendations coming out of committees. And under 11, new business, 11A, we've got an issue to do with cleanup at the dump, and I've got a motion moved by Councillor Grote, seconded by Deputy Mayor Antoine, that council approve the GNWT Department of Environment and Natural Resources contribution agreement for $150,000 supporting village efforts in shipping hazardous wastes to a registered receiver for ultimate disposal. And this has to do with our landfill. Any discussion? Yes, Councillor Rowe.
Was this the same plan that we discussed at the committee of the whole meeting
No.
last week? Okay.
Totally separate.
Thank you.
Did this
I have
come
no
up
questions.
council before?
You did,
Okay.
yeah.
That must not have been.
Yeah, no, this is like a
It's gonna-
one-time offer made by ENR to help us out, I think.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere, didn't it?
It sort of did,
Which was very nice to see that we've got that option now.
so I'll ask for a show of hands, all in favor of signing that agreement? Okay, it's 7 in favor, none against. We will sign that. And we've got the water works tender and a motion moved by Councillor Moreau, seconded by Deputy Mayor Antoine, that council accept the recommendation from Stan Tech with respect to the recent water and sewer tender, that the tendered work be awarded to Rose Construction in the amount of $1,253,262.50. Further, that discussion be held with the contractor to review elements of the bid. Any questions? Okay,
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is to do with our chip seal program, correct?
it is in advance of it because
Gotta be
it's
done
doing the
before.
sewer and water works that we
Yeah.
knew we had to
I wasn't
do.
even aware we had gone to tender on that, but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that's okay.
Quite a while ago.
So I'm assuming the money's in the budget.
We'd be looking at
And
using, we'd be looking at using gas tax for 75% of it, because we have all that extra gas tax this year. And then the water sewer reserve for the rest.
Okay.
And these are just for clarification, those 3 problem areas that had been discussed when we originally, that's what this is?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right then. All in favor? 7 in favor, none against. Motion is carried. Now we got item 11C, which is the adoption of the strategic plan, and you all had a copy of that. One of the real changes, I guess, were in addition by our administration and myself as forwards a little bit to the strategic plan. I know it's not maybe the perfect document, but it's a working tool that we can amend and look at every year if we want, and sort of change. Yes, Councillor Grote?
Just one question on that. I thought we identified the need for a village engineer on our strategic plan. We talked about it, said that would have been a good idea. Now I don't see anything concerning that in this whole, because I thought that was one of the recommendations we came up with that weekend, was that an overall
Operation director, an operation director.
with engineering experience like we don't have anywhere in town here to oversee this. I'm sure we talked about that and we all agreed, or we somewhat agreed on the need for that position.
Right, and I mean, even if it isn't exactly listed or outlined there, I don't think it takes away from the opportunity to look at that further. I guess we're relying somewhat on the lady that facilitated this with us, because it was really her pooling everything together. And
Yeah. Are we interested in it?
I just don't know if we should just interject it here at the last minute or not, or whether
No,
that's
it
just
doesn't
a
have
good
to be in the
subject.
strategic plan.
Yeah,
Are we as counselors interested?
I don't know if our budget could afford it.
yeah, there's so
Oh,
many
no.
things to consider.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
not a
know.
bad,
We're just spending
Direction.
$300,000 in this budget here or this
Yeah.
week here that we didn't plan.
yeah. Councillor Rowe?
I think he was.
Oh, Councillor Hassan.
You are first.
Okay.
We had kind of discussed to look towards our development officer and whether we wanted to separate development from bylaw and vice versa. Is this kind of something that could fit into an operations person? Like we could loop in the development officer, operations. We're already planning on getting one job. Is it worth looking at? And that's what I said at the last meeting, where we need to look at what our development officer does, whether it's bylaw and development, or development and fire chief, or development and operations developer.
Mhm.
So I really think that whole job description should go to the committee of the whole.
Right,
And I do agree with Councillor Grote that we do need somebody to oversee some projects here.
right. So I guess right now what we're doing is Stantec is our as and when contractor for engineering services.
We probably pay them a heck of a lot more than we pay an employee.
Yeah. Yes, Councillor
Well,
Grote?
see, Stantec is very fine, but how they come in is we say we want to do our roads. They say, okay, we're gonna spend $100,000 and here's the papers. Where we could get somebody in our corner.
Yeah,
They're just out there, they're just contractors,
Yeah.
hour by the hour. We had somebody who was working for us. I like the idea of redelegating our,
well, Kevin's
Dog
an
catcher.
engineer.
what's that?
He's an engineer.
There you
I
go.
believe it.
That's
He's just sort of he's not getting paid as an engineer right now.
Yeah, well, that's fine. But I mean, that's a position I think we should discuss, is whether we should, I like what Mike That's what Rose said about the
Yeah,
changing dog catcher into a dog catcher and bylaws and
Development and operations.
yeah,
into a little bigger hat, better position.
yeah. And some of those, like I look at those as sort of operational efficiencies, cost-saving things, but you know, we don't have to put them in the strategic plan as such, because they seem more like an action plan towards developing our staffing.
Well,
But it's good point made.
I mean, it's kind of in there, sorry, under goal 4 strategy to investigate opportunities for staff efficiencies or reorganization.
So I
it is
mean,
kind of-
in that way, it's general. What you're saying is the more specifics, right? Once we get into committee, we can.
Yeah, I would
talk
like
more.
to see that put on committee to discuss
Yeah.
that,
Okay.
staffing on the
Sounds
dog
good.
catcher slash every
Yeah, because
other
that's
related duties.
immediate concern, for sure, the bylaw position and development officer type thing. Okay? So any other comments on the strategic plan? Oh, yeah, sorry, Councillor Hassan.
No, they mentioned what I want to say. We spent a lot of time discussing the issue, that position when we had the strategic planning workshop. And I don't think, I think if we adopt the strategic planning, is not going to affect the discussion that we had, that we are in real need of a person who will be, I remember the position which we discussed was an operation director or with an engineering background. I don't think it will affect it. So we should adopt that, but we have to consider in the coming days, we discuss that issue more as a council and come with the recommendations so we can get that position, because it will really help. It will be the link between the SAO and all the departments, and even if that's Kevin, it's okay. He's an engineer, but the idea was to get an engineer someone with an engineering background that will help us to and facilitate for us our activities with the rec center, with everything, with the with everything that's going on in the village.
Okay,
Thank you.
good point. Any other comments by any councillors? Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I didn't quite read the whole document, but was there anything in there regarding doing water supply up to on the hill?
Not that specifically, no. I think there might be something in there about project analysis or something,
I
but
didn't see
I
anything.
Okay,
think
well,
that's more of a
Goal,
I'll go ahead.
capital planning.
I don't mind to go ahead and adopt it as is,
Yeah.
but I will have the opportunity to include it later.
Oh,
So
yeah,
let's just
I
start the
mean-
document and,
get it out there,
Yeah.
then it's out on the internet on our website.
right.
if you have a
Okay.
chance, look at goal 3 strategy 1. It kind of touches on changes to land and stuff.
Okay, so then we'll close off the discussion. Show of hands in favor of adopting the strategic plan. Okay, 7 in favor, none against. So strategic plan is adopted. And we have the bridge study resolution. Is that really the paperwork that you guys have? We had it at the last committee of the whole meeting.
Yeah, it's in the package.
Okay. I actually need a blank one, Kevin,
Sorry, Rich.
for this,
Motion?
It's
yeah,
a
for the bridge study
resolution.
resolution.
It says resolution.
Yeah. I won't read the whole resolution again. I could, but I should. Okay. Could I get a mover and a seconder? A mover, Councillor Hassan. A seconder, Councillor Morrow. Any discussion? Further discussion on the resolution? Yes,
Is
Councillor
this
Rowe?
resolution to send the letter to the GNWT?
Yeah, it would be basically a tool to be used by the village.
There wasn't a motion already for that?
Ah. Oh, my apologies.
So to my
Kind of mixed in the back there.
No worries.
point for the question, I know there was some discussion at the meeting about whether we were going to try to coordinate with the bands the community residents and make a package, not just a one letter saying, hey, we want a bridge study, but we were going to say, look, what we need a bridge study. Look how it affects these people and look
Mhm.
what it does. I thought we had a little bit of, we were going to kind of put together something that was a little more tantalizing than please study us.
Yeah, I think you're right. I can take that bridge study, and on your behalf, I can take it to Tri-Council. The resolution itself, ask for more feedback and ideas that we can use to put towards the MLA candidates, if, whoever announces, and to our MP candidates who are running, and use it however we can to get that word out.
So my question on that, and I'm fine, and we should definitely go talk to as many people as we can. I don't know that it has to be a tri-council meeting.
No,
I don't know that we can't put it, because it seems like it's really hard to get all three members at a time. And I would assume we want to get this out sooner than later. Can it be just served to their council so that they can discuss it and decide if they want to put forth a letter, like an email? Put in a request, say this is what we're trying to do. We'd like your support. Please
that we're
write us a
asking for
letter.
support for the resolution. Yeah.
Go to the like I said the Chamber of Commerce. Every
Yeah.
single local.
Well, I think it's a
person.
good idea to, ask the councils and the leaders for any input and support so that when this goes out, we can legitimately say the whole community is behind this. It may be, this particular resolution originated with the village, but it's supported by everybody. So that's really important, I think, for politicians to pay attention,
Yeah, because it's
So-
not only us, it's also
Yeah.
Wrigley.
and even other
all the way
communities,
down.
I think might be, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I think if we can get it up and down the valley for feedback as soon as we can to ask for more and more support.
So can I put something forward to table this, or what's the next step there?
Well, I mean,
We're ready to
that
move.
I would just take as good advice, what you're saying, and if
But I
it
thought
doesn't.
the resolution was to send that to the GNWT.
What's
it's,
the resolution say?
it says lobbies both the feds and the territorial and through their elected representative.
Yeah, but what does the resolution say?
We're just gonna expand that to say whoever else
Yeah.
we can gain support from, and that's it.
Yeah, so it'll be
What's it say?
the actual resolution.
Yeah.
This
It
one says
says-
that council adopt the resolution respecting the bridge study and that the resolution be forwarded on to the appropriate government departments of the GNWT.
So that's sending it to the GNWT. So that's not what we're talking about here.
Right,
It says on number 2. Am I missing something?
Well, that's in the.
but the actual
letter.
resolution
But
is
the
there,
resolution-
right?
No, the
Passing.
resolution does say that. That's what this is.
No, that's the letter they're gonna send to the GNWT.
So what is this then?
That's the letter they're gonna send to the
The
GNWT.
resolution?
Yes,
No,
that's
that
the
is-
This
resolution.
is the council's resolution
Yeah,
that we passed to send
but
back.
really what I would like is though that this wording for this resolution be exchanged for that, where we have the whereas, and the therefores.
Yeah.
That is the actual resolution. We're sort of referring in this resolution to that one, but I could just input that. Yes,
Yeah,
Councillor?
it's still
Rowe?
referred to this document anyways. And it's good what it says, lobbying the federal and territorial government, but we're going to include the political bodies right down the river too.
Yeah. Yes, Councillor Grove?
My suggestion would be, remove that, like from this motion, if we can,
Mhm.
remove what that says. You wait
Yeah.
for a second.
Yeah.
And say, and forward to the representative, all the affected,
For all
And seek
stakeholders?
support
and
from
seek
the-
support from all of the
Affected.
affected people. Before we say, yeah, we're gonna send it to GNWT, remove the GNWT portion. And say we would like to forward to, whatever that means. And get,
Right.
I think, a larger group of support for letters from all the communities and all the bands and everything like that will have a lot more power than us firing it off. Agree.
Right.
However you put that nicely.
Okay, so I could change that wording to reflect what you're saying.
Yeah.
That council adopt the resolution respecting the bridge study and that the resolution be forwarded to all stakeholders for input and support prior to sending to the appropriate government departments of the GNWT and politicians.
maybe we should put a time frame on that too.
Right,
So this is why I said we should table this. Because it seems like there's a lot of discussion that still needs to be had about this.
right.
We're not saying no to it. We're okay with the letter.
Right.
Like, we don't need a motion to send a letter out asking for support, I don't think. So why don't we just table this whole thing until we get some support? And if, say, in a month, we come back and it says, hey, nobody sent us anything, well, then we'll go with that. But I don't think we need a motion to go ahead to talk to people.
Right, but we have to send them something. Yeah,
It's
Deputy Mayor
I
Antoine.
think it's courteous to send out a letter to say, we need your support, this is what we want to do. You know, please respond within the week or so, and at least our staff can initiate that.
Yeah.
Hopefully by next meeting, we might get some answers back, even give them a call, give them a nice little call.
Well,
Just say, okay, at 2:00 I spoke to this
them
person,
email, just
and there will be something forthcoming. We could
Send a
even
letter.
draft them up a letter
Well, then
to
why
say, this is how we support.
Yeah.
You're just gonna sign it and pass it.
Could I say that council present a draft resolution respecting a bridge study to all stakeholders for input? So we haven't passed anything. We're just saying, well, look, here's what we'd like to send to the government on your behalf.
You're really confusing the issue here.
Let this pass the
I think
resolution.
Councillor
Just
Hassan
say,
is,
we're starting it. It's work in progress.
Yeah.
There'll be, you know, it could
Yeah.
be changed later on, but we gotta start this initiative.
just email it to everybody, you know.
Quick.
Just get the
Be out
list
in one day.
and zip and it's gone.
It's not like we're, using carrier pigeons or anything.
And then follow up.
And then there's a meeting in Newvik this fall.
Right.
And then when you go there, you can solicit some more.
Okay. Councillor Hassan.
Thank you. I think we all agree on one thing. We are just like discussing something which doesn't make any sense. We agree that we want to have a bridge. All these parties, they want the bridge. If we table the resolution, I might agree with you somehow, but I will disagree also. If we table it until we get the feedback, it won't make any sense. Why don't we pass the motion? Then it give us the status when we talk to them as a council. We moved and approved a motion to approach the GNWT and the federal government, and we request your support at the same support from you guys. Wrigley Band, LKFN, the Métis, and all these things come together as a package and send it to the GNWT and the federal government.
Right.
So I think we should just pass it and let it go. We all agreed. We all want the bridge. Everyone
And
wants
we
the
will
bridge.
follow that process.
Yeah.
We're not going to send it out to anybody except for the
Yes.
stakeholders at first. Everybody will have a chance to support.
Do you agree with me?
I don't agree with you.
Okay,
This is
thank
just a
you.
confusing, I'm sorry, this is just a confusing
I'm
motion.
not confused, it's okay,
Thank
it's pretty clear.
Yeah. Well,
It's so complicated.
That's what I mean, just send an email, you don't have to pass a resolution.
Mhm.
Say, hey, we want to do a bridge study, what do you guys
A
think?
resolution is saying, we all agree we're gonna take this initiative.
Yeah.
Be it a resolution or a motion, if there's a problem with the resolution, we can go with a motion. But it's gonna start, we all agree this is what we wanna work on, let's start working on it.
right.
And that's why it's on the table for a motion or a resolution, we need to vote on it.
I like the idea of the resolution being passed this evening because it's very clear in what it's asking. And people won't be confused when we ask them for their input or support because they will know exactly what they're supporting. Hard to ask people for support if we're just being very general, and everyone will have a different slightly take on it. But this at least is very concise and clear. And as confused as we are tonight, because at least they'll be looking at one document. There it is. We've stepped into it. We've said we support the bridge at that point. We're asking for everybody's support just to strengthen it. I don't think it's a controversial thing. I think it's pretty much everyone's going to be on side in one form or another. So, all right. Any more discussion
What have you got for a motion?
now?
Read it once more.
Well, the council adopt the resolution respecting the bridge study,
That's why you want to do it simple.
and that the resolution be forwarded to all stakeholders for input and support prior to sending to the approach of the GNWT and politicians and released to the public. How about that? although, how about that?
You don't need to put release to the
I guess
public.
that's
It's a
automatic.
public document anyways.
Yeah. It's public because it's here tonight. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I hope everybody votes for it because it's, if anything, it's just, there might be a slight difference in how this is going out, but I think everyone's generally in support of this, so.
I'm a supporter of a bridge, but this motion, I'm not. This
It's
is-
an uphill battle even here with council. What's gonna happen when we get out of council and face the feds?
So,
Excuse me.
yes, Councillor Hassan.
laughing at
I,
Yeah.
I want us all to be on the
We're
same,
still stuck in, oh, I don't
we
know.
all have to be, guys, we all have to be on the same page. I'm gonna go with Councillor Rose's idea. Instead of us, we having voting and someone is not supporting the motion, let us table the motion and the issue can go ahead and the administration and the mayor can contact these parties and come with whatever, and if there is any need, I don't even see that there is any need of a motion for that. The whole idea
That's what I'm saying.
doesn't even need a motion. If we lobby all these people, we don't even need a motion. Our motion will be nothing. So let us table it so we all agree on it. Go ahead. The mayor and the administration go ahead, contact these people, lobby them, and we are in support of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we could do that too, yeah. So table the motion, a mover and a seconder to table, Councillor Rowe
Yep.
moved to
I'll
table,
move it.
Seconder? Councillor Hassan. Okay, so we'll deal with that issue first. See if there's majority to table. Okay, show of hands to table this motion. Okay, 6. Against? 1. Okay, but we will table it. And we'll do that which we were asked to do. Okay. 11E, designation of Tower Road. And I've got a motion moved by Councillor Grote, seconded by Deputy Mayor Antoine, that council designate the roadway on Commissioner's Land across from Tetzel Trail as Tower Road. Further, that leased property identified under sketch SK 00210 be designated number 2 Tower Road, and that leased property identified under sketch SK 043 be designated 12 Tower Road. I don't know how we jump from 2 to 12, but
They're a long ways apart and there's space in between.
a lot of space, eh? Okay, I guess just giving it enough.
Street's 100th Street instead of 1.
Yeah, we didn't start with one, eh? We were ambitious. All right. With that then, any further discussion? Yes, Councillor Hassan.
I just have a question. Who gave that road the name Tower Road? My question is because right now everything is going to be 5. I don't see any reason for us to have the name Tower Road, which in 50 years there might be no tower there, or they might be. Why are we taking the history when we want to have something after 20, 30 years when there is no tower? Why don't we give it a name that name can be carried over instead of the tower, which I don't think it's gonna last here for 5 more years. It's just an idea. I don't know. You guys might
You can
disagree
always
with me.
change it.
Yeah, let me tell you about Elephant Park, which they still call Elephant Park, even though there's a piece of equipment that looked like an elephant. They took it out years ago and they still call it Elephant Park. There's a piece of equipment that looked like an elephant. They took it out years ago and they still call it Elephant Park. Yeah, it's I think it's easy enough to change if for some reason it just
Yeah.
becomes like totally
If they take the
outdated.
tower down.
Well, that doesn't matter. Just no imagination in the name. That's all
Yeah.
I see.
It's just a quick fix,
Right
I
across
think.
from Tetzel Trail, across from this and that. Now we have Tower Road.
You
Yeah.
need to call it Rapid Road. That's my old
Rabbit Road?
Rabbit.
The snare.
Oh, yeah, Snare. Rabbit Snare Road.
But, okay, yeah, as a fix for Larry Campbell's property and another property up there, I guess this is what came out of it. And If there's no other discussion, okay, Councillor Rowe?
I mean, a thorn in everyone's side tonight. I still never heard if we found out if we are able to name a road we don't own. And if we heard anything back from Northwest Out.
No, we still don't own the road.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Okay. So is there?
That was my only question, was
Okay,
whether we could name someone else's road.
okay. All right, so then with no other questions, can I see a show of hands in support of this motion? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 in favor, none against. Motion is carried. And let me just get my. All right. 11F deals with Julia Tetzel's request for a zoning reclassification or a taxation classification change from last committee of the whole meeting. And I don't have a motion here. Is there an actual motion to go with that?
I had something tabled last week. It was wrong.
Committee of the whole meeting, and I don't have a motion here. Is there an actual motion to go with that?
I had something tabled last week. It was wrong.
We
Or is it just
discussed,
an update for us? I saw a recommendation from the SAO.
I know at the committee of the whole, we said we were gonna move ahead with the rezoning.
I
Lesser
think it's a,
properties.
it's a
a
bylaw. We're supposed to reclassify that
It's a
zone.
classification, not a zoning.
Yeah, so it's even something that doesn't maybe require.
Well, it has to be rezoned.
Yeah.
That's just
No, it
not,
doesn't.
You
That's
mean
what
that
the
email
information
from
is.
Kyle, Dell,
Yeah.
Karen?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
you got it. I didn't bring that. Can you read it or what?
Just look at it.
Okay, yeah, I'll
You
read
go ahead
this,
and read,
I'll read
yeah.
this to everybody. This is from Kyle Galber or somebody. Please allow me to provide some history with the particular account. My understanding of the situation is that Julia's property is currently taxed at a multi-residential mill rate. This property class is assigned/determined by the assessor upon the inspection or information concerning the account. In this instance, my understanding is that there were multiple residents on the property prior to Julia purchasing it. That explains why the property class is multi-residential. At some point, an improvement was removed without the assessment section being notified. I have reviewed the account and see there are currently 2 improvements, houses on the assessment. During our annual this year, I will re-inspect the property and remove the house that no longer presents, I will remove the house that's no longer present and reduce the total improvement value. I will also change the property class to single-family residential property. And property class assignment under Property Assessment and Taxation Act states that zoning should be used as a guide, but the predominant use of the property is ultimately what determines the act's assigned class. I don't believe there is a need for a zoning change unless there are other intentions or uses that differ from the existing bylaw and zoning. Unfortunately, in this instance, I can only affect the current assessment year. For this year, I can make change as it's being brought out. However, the assessment is typically final once the board revision tribunal is set for the year. If anybody understood what that said.
Okay,
So it's a classification.
within a zoning, yeah, seems to be multiple classifications you could have within one.
It's
zone.
R1 zoned.
But,
The
and
class is wrong.
but he thought somehow it had multiple houses on it at one time and there was no update when the one got taken down. So I think maybe it's nothing that we have to do here. It's going to get taken care of by the assessor with now being properly notified of what is actually on the property. We can always see how it all falls out and if there's something we can do to adjust for this year. I think that was the thing we had talked about in committee, right? That as if we wanted it to take effect immediately. And the way the assessor's talking about, it might not take effect till the end of the year, although he mentioned something about,
This year he said he
Well,
could.
I
yeah,
don't know why he's getting the Board of Revision Tribunal involved, because they sit once a year and he said the decisions can be made by them.
yeah. So at this point, now that he's been notified and he's actually aware there's only one, I think he's going to make the change. I guess we could follow up when the SAO gets here, make sure
See if
things,
there is anything. We could forward that to Julia. Maybe that would help.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
explain what's happening. Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, because I don't think there's anything we can do right now. Okay, but it's information, and we can certainly pass that along to Julia as well. Okay, 11G, to Julia as well. Okay, 11G, which is the solicitor's recommendation regarding the Bellefontaine matter. And Troy wasn't here when declare conflict, but he's going to right now. And I'm going to leave the room as well. Deputy Mayor, did you want to just take the table if there's any discussion regarding that?
Yeah, there must have been a discussion last week about this, I wasn't here. So, do we have, the recommendation here for us to read to everybody?
It should be, so as far as I'm aware, it was already discussed, and if it needs to be any more discussion, it should go in camera. So there is a resolution to accept the solicitor's recommendation. And any discussion about it, if you council want any discussion about it, it needs to go in camera first.
There was discussion at it in the last meeting.
Yeah.
I think the
I
resolution.
think that was one you were at, then your phone cut out when we moved into camera.
Yeah.
My phone didn't cut out, I was listening to you guys.
Well, you never answered it.
You guys didn't turn the machine off.
Uh,
I heard all the kahapo at me, but I.
so it was that discussion.
So do you have to go to in camera right now and discuss it and come out of camera?
You can vote on the resolution, or we could make a motion to go in camera and discuss it.
We voted on a motion already.
No, we haven't.
It was just.
There was no motion. It was just a recommendation from the lawyer.
I thought we had voted, everybody voted,
Committee of the whole meeting.
Nobody's
Committee
going.
of the whole.
okay?
We voted to move out of.
Councilor Crowe.
Yes, sir.
It seemed that the lawyer's recommendations were pretty clear.
Yes.
I think we're fair to vote on that right now.
Would you guys like to take a vote now?
I'm fine with voting.
We only, well, two can't be here, only Liza's missing, we can go ahead and do it.
I'll just ask if there's any discussion. If there's
Is
no
there
discussion, then we
any
vote.
more
We
discussion?
we can have any discussion.
We can move into camera if someone wants to
Yeah.
discuss it. I mean,
In this case, can you disconnect the?
You wanna
Are we going
make a
into
motion?
At least we can discuss it.
Did you have
If
the,
we're gonna discuss it, we'll have to go into camera.
Yeah.
did you have the letter here?
Motion here. Council meeting, we can ask for a vote on this motion.
What is the motion?
to move
In
into
camera.
Oh, I see.
This was for so you can do another one for this other
Yeah.
one here. Okay, so, moved by Marie Lafferty, seconded by Kirby Grote, that council move into camera at 7:47 PM.
Can we have two in cameras in one meeting?
I think we can move in and out in camera.
Time we want.
I'm just wondering if we could just
There should be a
put
roll
this
call
into
sheet.
put this into that other one where we'll go on camera for
No,
staff number
let's just do
15
it.
and then,
No,
with it
because
then?
two people are gone that are going to be involved in the other in camera issue.
okay, you're right. Okay, so, the resolution, did you
Motion to
shut
go
it
in
off?
camera. Are we going in
Well,
camera?
we vote to go in?
So you need
Did
a
you
roll
shut
call
We
it?
need to
sheet.
call the names
Oh, I'm-
for the
Okay.
Did you
present.
shut
My
this,
apologies.
And we gotta take the owl off.
Kevin, did you shut this thing off? The eyes?
Just that once we're finished, once we pass this resolution, I'll shut it off.
Because we're in camera.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We have to
Oh,
vote
not yet,
first.
eh? Okay.
Okay, this is a recorded vote to go on camera at 7:45. Mayor Wiley's not here, so he's absent.
Not
Well, it's not
absent,
true.
declare conflict.
Was absent for this motion,
Yeah.
Abstain, yeah.
or abstain, I guess you'd say.
Deputy Mayor Antoine, 4, yeah.
I don't think you get to vote.
Councillor Bellefontaine. Councillor Groot.
Yes.
Sorry, Deputy Mayor doesn't get to vote as she's sitting as chair.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Good God. Councillor Hassan.
Yes.
Councillor Lafferty.
Yes.
Councillor McPherson is absent. Councillor Moreau.
Yes.
Councillor Rowe.
No.
So 4-1. Is
Carried.
that quorum?
That's carried.
It's carried.
There you go. Turn off the camera.